Oh,
guys.
boy. Yeah. When the Giants came on the field, I knew they weren't going to win.
Here we go.
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
He was a Giant, and he was a Cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
Good evening, Byron.
How you doing, Jim? I'm holding up 2-2. It's only 4 teams left in the hunt for the big bowl game.
That is true.
2 divisional, NFC division, 2.
And there are teams that should have been there. There's no question about it. Philadelphia and San Francisco had the best records in the NFC, so they should have been there. And then the same for Cincinnati and Kansas City, and they should be battling out to go to the Super Bowl. So there's no questions about that.
No question. You have to take your hat off to Cincinnati. I mean, they seem like the last 9 games, they really turned that ship around.
Yeah. I was talking to our producer, Linda, not Mac, because I don't talk to him. He's a Giants fan, but I was talking, and the Buffalo Bills got big boy. They got out physical at their own place. Yeah. They got knocked around, and they got out physical on defense, and their offense couldn't get anything going. And that's sometimes when you have great players and they don't show up, and they can say what they want. Diggs can be as mad as he wants, but I mean, there's no tomorrow in these situations.
No tomorrow. You don't come off the football field. Don't come off the football field doing your quarterback like this. I mean, you all a team. You're in this together, and you don't. Cameras. These players got to realize and remember that cameras are everywhere. You complaining about not getting the ball. You complaining about this and that. That's not team football, and I don't care what nobody say. It just don't carry over. It don't look good. You can't build your next season off of that type of stuff. And you're a leader. You're supposed to be a leader, and he should be more mature than that. Than complaining to Josh Allen, just doing this and that. Hey man, just do your job, and when he throw you the ball, make some things happen.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. But to that point, the Giants got beat 36-7, and AJ Brown is over there sulking.
Same thing. The same exact thing. Your team is winning.
Going receivers. It's receivers.
You got the NFC Division Championship game, and if you win them, you go to the Super Bowl. Who knows what's going to happen in those 2 games? Just go on to the next game.
You were the same way, Byron. You were the same way. You get mad when you didn't get the ball.
I knew it. That's why I need a mentor. I need a mentor.
Like what Michael Jordan said, there's no I in team, but there's me.
That's true. That's true. So however you want to put it, how you want to twist it, I think, you always have to learn. It's certain things you got to learn, and when you get it, you get it. And it's never too late to learn the concept of what the game is all about. But man, whenever you say you can hold up that trophy, that championship Super Bowl trophy, that's the ultimate, man. So
it is the ultimate, because the reason it is the ultimate, as you got those 3 trophies back there, and the ultimate, I got 2 back here, is it's just not one person.
Yeah, it's a team.
It's a team. It's not an individual that gets you to that point. And these kids are going to have to understand that. They're going to have to understand it. It's not about them. It's about the team. So
absolutely, and it's the chemistry. It's everything. It has to be point on, and those memories will last forever. Just what you learn in that special moment, you just unbelievable to get to that, to conquer that task. And if that don't happen, man, you'll go home and think about that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, a couple things before we get into last week's games. Sean Payton. Now it's looking like Sean Payton will stay in as a Fox Sports analyst. Well, he wasn't really an analyst. He really just came on the show.
He came on and made comments and gave his input, his advice. Yeah.
But I thought this was here's my issue with the whole deal. First of all, he wanted $20 to $25 million for 4 years. I don't know how many teams were going to pay him that, because here, with the price of doing business with Sean Payton is that $20 to $25 million you got to pay him, and then you got to give the Saints draft picks to get them.
Yep.
And is that worth it? That's the question you have to ask.
Not for one person, no.
And here's my thing. I like Sean. I've coached with Sean. Sean is a great guy. He is a really good guy. He's energetic. I mean, he's got a lot of energy. But here's the problem: is he won one Super Bowl, and he won it with probably a Hall of Fame quarterback. Now, here's the thing: I'm gonna spend that money on somebody. I'm gonna spend it on Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, somebody of that stature. Maybe Pete Carroll, but I'm not going to spend it on a guy that's won one Super Bowl and won it with a possibly a Hall of Fame quarterback.
He's definitely a Hall of Fame quarterback, one of the top elite quarterbacks to ever play the game.
Yeah, Drew Brees. So that's the thing you got to ask. That's just it.
Absolutely, and and then the last 2 years coaching in New Orleans, the way things happen, he ended up getting put on probation that whole year, several years back, 3 years ago, something like that. And then what happened, at the end to the team. I know he had injuries. I know they trying to find a quarterback, stay healthy, but the way he left New Orleans, I wouldn't, I think his heart wasn't in it no more, and maybe his heart not going to be in it when he gets.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But if you have the opportunity, obviously, to take 20 to 25 million, then you're going to take it and then say, if you want to fire me, fire me.
I'm going to take that 25 million and say, Jim, you can be my defensive coordinator. What you think about that, Jim? I say, I'll be thinking, and you got to put the right people in place around you. But man, and you got to have some go-getting coach. You got to get the coaches, you got to get the players, and you got to have some real guys on that team. So die hard.
And you got to get that. But first of all, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna cost $15 million to get me to be a DC. So
man, you can be making more than the head coaches of the other team.
Oh well.
Man, we gonna be talking to the owners and man, you got to pay us, man.
Because here's the thing: when they fire me, I'm gonna be like Cliff Kingsbury. I'm gonna be in Thailand on a one-way ticket.
Hey, I don't want to be here. I don't want nobody to call me in a year. That's what they say.
That's right.
Nobody in a year.
I'm done. I'm done. A lot of news today. Obviously, around the league, people are getting, and it used to be Black Monday, but it's been on Miami. A couple of their defensive coaches were not renewed or released.
Yep.
Dallas had a couple coaches released
today.
Today, Minnesota,
Tampa Bay.
I mean, and that's
there's a lot of coaching jobs open this year, more than ever before.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's the hard thing is you get, and you still got 5 teams that have not made a decision on the head coaches.
Yeah,
I mean, we're saying there, but now they're saying that Dan Quinn, who's interviewed with Arizona, he's in Arizona now on his second interview. Denver, he went to Denver and Indianapolis, so there's a good. I don't think he's going to get Indianapolis. I don't either.
I think Indianapolis might stay with Jeff Saturday.
I agree.
He's Hakeem, the defense coordinator for the Rams.
Raheem
Morris. Yeah, exactly. And
so I agree with you, but Denver is an issue because everybody's afraid to work with Russell Wilson. Are you going to put your livelihood on Russell Wilson right now?
I mean, it's just the way things went this year with Denver Broncos. I mean, that's not really an attractive job. I mean, just knowing the expectation with Coach Hackett and some of the things that they thought were going to happen. You know, he come being the top offensive coordinator with the Green Bay Packers, and then going out there with the Broncos, and seemed like the bottom fell out of everything they tried to do this year. And then
and when you go into those situations, they might want you to keep somebody. Like, say, if you go to Denver, they might want you. That defensive coordinator is getting a lot of interviews as of now.
Yeah,
I can't say his name, but he's getting a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
And things like that, and various places. They might tell you as Steve Wilkes at Carolina, which I think would be a difficult situation if you brought in, say, a Kellen Moore, and they said, we want you to keep Steve Wilkes in the staff. And that's a hard thing to do.
Hard thing to do. You got and then Frank Wright is one of his family's there in Carolina. So right now, Steve and Frank Wright is the two guys that might get that Carolina job. Seems like
I played against them in Carolina. He was in Buffalo.
Yeah.
We played him in the Super Bowl, and then he went to Carolina when they were an expansion team.
Right. Yeah.
So I played against him there.
And he still got family live there too. Frank Wright does. So
yeah,
right. I mean, it's gonna be, still though, when you changing these coaches and you bring these coaches, you expect, to get to the playoffs, so you get to turn their ship around, like what Doug Peterson did with the Jaguars, and like what a couple of teams that really turned their ship around.
Well, McDonald with the Vikings.
With the Vikings, exactly. I was gonna say Vikings.
The head coach of Miami, he got injuries, and Tua, but before Tua was injured, they were good.
They were very competitive, and that AFC East was really, and the NFC East were really two good divisions.
Yep.
And from top to bottom, everybody in those divisions was playing good football.
Yeah. So, that's something to keep looking at, is how this thing shakes out, because there's going to be some first-time coaches. Like you said, there's going to be some experienced coaches get jobs. And now you got all these coaches without jobs. So they're going to have to find jobs.
So let me ask you a question, Jim. Since you coached in all different levels, you played all the time. When these teams find these coaches and then they bring in the different terminologies and beliefs of what these coaches have in place, the defense coordinators, of course, the position coaches, and then you got to match your talent with the players into those positions, insert those talent players in those divisions. How quickly can a team turn the ship around? Say, for instance, New Orleans, a team that had some talent, but yet they missing some pieces. I just wanted to use that for example. I kind of coach and this new coaching staff come in and change that environment.
Well, you got to find out what your players, and that's in the offseason. You got to get all your players there and find what they can do and what they can't do. You can't have any notions of what they did before, because it might not fit your scheme. And you got to find out what they do best and how to fit them into what the schemes that you're running. I mean, there's some players that are good in the 3-4, meaning 3 D linemen and 4 linebackers, and there's some players that are good in a 4-3, which is 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers. And you got to find out where your weakness is, so you can shore up your weaknesses, and offensively and defensively, and find out what you can do the best. And the teams that can do that are normally going to be successful. When you got to give Minnesota credit. They found out what they did well, and they took advantage of it. And they obviously didn't go very far, but they did get better. And then they won
13 games, so that was amazing. 13 games season. One of the things too, I was gonna say, you got teams like the Tennessee Titans. You got the Houston Texans. Those teams were very competitive this year. And I just think they just missing just a little tweak here and need a little tweak here and a little tweak there. And they can be, it can easily be.
No question. And the thing you got to get them is to get your players to play hard. Because here's the thing. If the New York Jets get I don't think they're going to take Lamar Jackson. I don't think they would take Lamar Jackson. I think there's a more likelihood they take somebody like Aaron Rodgers or Jimmy Garoppolo. And the reason I say that, because just of what you mentioned is that Jackson you'd have to change your offense. An offense that's probably more geared toward Lamar Jackson's unique ability is Atlanta. Atlanta would probably be a better place than New York. And the pressure of playing in New York and you played there, Byron, so is different from anywhere else in the country. Absolutely.
It's completely different. It's not the same. You got to have some tough skin. You got to be able to it's everything changing the heartbeat, and just people expect you to win. I mean, the fans gonna be there whether you win or lose. You can be 3-13 or 3-14, and they'll wear sacks to the game just to tell you you get that turn the ship around, because we ain't gonna have it. We all about winning. And just for an example, just the Giants having a successful year, people are just so sales with the New York Giants merchandise have went up enormously, and you just see people excited because they went to the playoff, and they hadn't done that in a while. So New York is just a special place to play. Expectation is great up there, and there are no excuses. Either you do it or you get your butt back to the house.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Ask Joe Judge and the coach before him. You had two coaches, in 3 years?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So that's different.
And then another coach left after 6 or 7 games. He didn't get a chance to finish the season.
Yeah. So it's difficult to be in the situation. So I don't think Lamar would go there. I think he'd go south to somewhere like Atlanta. I don't think he'd go to Miami. I don't think Miami's a fit.
Well, one thing I'm gonna say about Lamar Jackson is the last game when it went up to play Cincinnati and he stayed back. He didn't travel with the team. That's an indication to me that he's upset about them negotiating his contract. Things ain't going right now. He don't feel like he's wanted no more with this organization. Your number one player on your team, and he didn't go to the playoff game, whether he was gonna play or not. That's a sign right there. That's an indication to me that something is terrible wrong with that situation.
Yeah. They guaranteed him $130 million. They got fully guaranteed, and he turned it down. I mean, $130 million.
But for me to be a coach and to be the general manager, you have to go to the game. You have to fly. You have to fly with the team.
Yeah.
Just being present on the sideline, whether you playing or not, whether you mad or upset or not, you're part of the team, and you're the franchise of the team.
I understand that, and I don't know what the whole situation, because he did have a knee injury, and we don't know if that irritated his standing on the sidelines. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he had a knee injury, and we don't know how severe that knee. They said it was a PCL, which
you know what? Check this out. They can get you a spot in the press box, and they can give you a seat. And then the camera going to find you, and then they'll show you at the game. Okay, you flew on the plane with us as a teammate, right? So what I'm saying is that something is wrong with that situation. I mean, standing on the sideline is one thing, but being there with your team is another thing.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna have a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I like Lamar, but to me, that's a tough call on him, because those quarterbacks don't last long.
Well, we talk about this all the time.
Are tired of hearing me say that,
but we talk about it all the time, Jim. Quarterbacks and running backs, those positions right now, you got to set yourself up for success, and it's a small window.
Yeah. So yeah. Hey, this is a little bit off the subject, but Mel Kiper came out with his picks today, and he picked C.J. Stroud, the Raiders, moving up to get C.J. Stroud. And then he had the fourth quarterback taken in the top 10 was the quarterback Bryce Young from Alabama. But here's the interesting thing. Bryce Young is a little bit undersized height-wise, but he only weighs 194 pounds, and he's trying to do some things to get up to 210 pounds. That shocked me.
Brian Purdy, he about the same size.
You think so, Brock Purdy?
Yeah. He about 205 pounds. I need to look and see what's his dimensions.
I'm not sure. You look at that and see that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I need to know his measurements.
But but that shocked me that he was that undersized. So that shocked me. He's 6'1", so he's way taller than what's youngest, like 5'11", 5'10".
Brock Purdy is 6'1".
Yeah, so he's taller.
He's from Queen Creek, Arizona. He grew up in
That's where my brother lives.
Queen Creek, Arizona.
Yep.
And they say he's 6'1", but I'm trying to see how much he weighs. He don't weigh that much. Oh, 212.
So he's bigger.
They actually got him at 6 feet 7 inches, 212.
So he's bigger.
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Bryce Young because he did do some nice. He might be another Flutie or a Fran Tarkenton.
Yeah, it's sometimes you get these critics that talk about these quarterbacks and talk about players coming out of college. Will they be able to make an adjustment? And the same thing kind of with Jalen Hurts. I mean, they talked about him the first six weeks in the league last. They saying, oh, he ain't the guy. He ain't the answer for the Eagles. But now they bowing out. Yeah.
He might be MVP.
Yeah, he's up for the MVP. But my point is, once you get there and you get the coaches to get, you get your confidence up and certain things happen, and things start clicking, then there's all kind of possibilities. So I don't ever try to talk negative about players coming in. And the one thing that I haven't never done in the NFL is talk about player size. You see a lot of undersized. Look at Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
He ain't your 6'4".
But he's bigger than Lawrence Taylor. Did you know that?
I don't think he's not bigger than Lawrence.
Yeah, look at him coming.
Lawrence Taylor weighed 255, 260.
I'm telling you, when they first came in the league, look at their size.
When they first came in the league, but hey, can he run a 4.4?
Lawrence Taylor started eating all that pizza and subs up in Jersey. I grew up there, so I know.
Yeah, he ate a lot of that. But he did a lot of power clean, man. He did a lot of power clean.
Yeah, I did a lot of power clean.
Yeah.
But let's get on to what happened to the New York Giants against Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
And then we'll talk about what happened to Dallas.
But one of the things, next thing you know, 7-0, 14-0, 21-0. Okay. So when that happened, going in at halftime, the Giants had to go in and say, hey, no, we are better than this. So they made some adjustments at halftime. And but the Giants they lack certain talent, skill sets of players. The receivers, the wide receivers, they had some drops and some things that happened. But my point was, they had a successful year. I mean, didn't nobody pick them to do anything. They picked them to be the bottom of the barrel in the NFC East. But I'm proud of them. I think now, it shows something about having the right type of coach in the building. And when you have the right kind of coach, you can turn a rat race into a superstar race. And so that's what happened. I think they had a congratulatory season. Hats off to them. And now we got something to build on. We know what we need now. We know we need. And another thing too, Jim, keep this in mind. I'm saying this today. I'm saying this today. In the NFC East, it hadn't been a back-to-back winner of from the previous year. So next year, the Giants will win the NFC East.
I'm glad you say that because the Cowboys have something. The Cowboys are the youngest team in the NFL. Did you know that?
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah, they're going to win.
But their quarterback is 29 years old.
He'll be 30. Yeah. So what happened with the Cowboys is first of all, I thought they did some things defensively. Obviously, they got issues with the kicker, Brett Maher. He made his field goals, 2 of them, but he missed that extra point.
Got blocked, they said.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have made it anyway. And
you saw that. I was gonna point that out, but go ahead.
But here's the thing that was interesting: they didn't let McCaffrey or Deebo Sanders dominate the game. They didn't let them dominate the game. Either one.
Well, you know why, don't you?
Why?
Dan Quayle. Hey, he's just a good defensive coordinator. He had a great game plan. The game plan that he had was ideal for the Cowboys, and that's a reflection of him coaching.
Yeah, and there's a possibility he won't be there to be able to do that. So, what you said, the Cowboys might have some issues.
They're gonna have some issues next year. And see, if you don't have key things in place, things can change dramatically, just like that. Like that.
That's what's kind of unusual. Even if Quinn comes back, they're gonna make some difference.
Guess what I saw today? Since you talked about the Giants, we are looking at the Andre Hopkins, the wide receiver. We talking about bringing him to the Giants, up there to the Meadowlands. Did you know that? I saw that today. That's one. Yeah. When we have a player like that on our team, it's gonna be all over.
But he's on steroids. You don't know if he's gonna be. He missed 6 games because of steroids.
Now, he wasn't on steroids, Jim. NFL, he tested positive for some steroid use.
Oh.
that doesn't mean
steroids, but he tested positive.
You can drink all kind of over-the-counter stuff, and you can test positive for some stuff. I'm telling you, it's not no steroids.
He was on steroids. So y'all getting a juice.
What do we need to be on steroids for?
That's a good question.
He ain't on no steroids. Ain't too many receivers that I know in my lifetime been on steroids.
Ain't no what?
Not too many receivers that I know been on steroids.
No.
It must have been defensive linemen. You defensive linemen. It must have been defensive linemen. It must have been linebackers and offensive linemen. That's what.
Metcalf looks like he on something.
I tell you what.
You guys are juicy.
We might get DeAndre Hopkins up there, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be all over there. You might well just say it's gonna be. We're gonna shut the East down. You haven't had
success with free agent receivers. You have not had any success with them.
Well, the last one.
Golden.
Yeah, Galladay didn't show up this year. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, what's the other one? Golden. He's playing basketball right now.
Yeah.
So you haven't had success with. I hope
Hodges had a great year. I'm glad he matured. He can add back Sterling. Number 86, whatever his name. He made me forget his name when he dropped the ball in the playoffs. So I forgot his name.
Huh? Oh no, not him. Hoskins.
No, Hodges, and then James had a pretty good year. He's seen to come in and make some things happen. So he's so quick, he's real quick. So.
Yeah.
But I just think they add a player here and there, they'll be okay. But you got to have a wide receiver.
The second best team in the NFC East behind the Cowboys, but
say what?
They're gonna be the second best team in the East behind the Cowboys. So I agree.
It's gonna be next year. It's gonna be between the Giants and the Eagles with the NFC East.
Oh no.
But you know what? Really, all 4 teams gonna be tough.
That's right.
All 4 teams gonna be Washington Commandos.
And they play. I think they play the AFC East next year.
It's gonna be interesting because that division might have another 3 or 4 teams go to the playoff again next year.
I would agree. But the league has changed from a player standpoint and a coach's standpoint.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of time. You have one bad play from losing your job as a player and a coach.
Absolutely. Things changing like that now.
Yeah.
It's about what have you done for me lately, and it's
really
about wins and losses.
It really is. You better, if you got like say the coach that goes to Carolina, it ain't like I'm gonna get 2 or 3 years to turn this thing around. I better turn this thing around now, especially in a weak division that that NFC South is. Same thing with Tennessee. They're gonna have to. The AFC South, because you got Cincinnati, not Cincinnati, but Tennessee. You know, they spit the bit this year. Texans are like
Tennessee, man. They started off with a game. I mean, they were leading the division. They were doing really good. And Baltimore was doing real good.
Yeah, Jacksonville came out of nowhere and started making, and they got looks like possibly a franchise quarterback. Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a time when Derrick Henry slows down.
And the good thing about that, they just go to show you that it's teams gonna try to position themselves to go to the big game as soon as possible because the window is so small.
Yeah, but here's the thing: that look at this: the guys that are in the quarterbacks that are in the championship. There's only one quarterback that's not in his rookie year contract or rookie contract, and that's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Because Purdy obviously is in his rookie contract.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is in his rookie contract. And the last one
Burrow.
Joe Burrows. So they're all in their rookie contracts. And the one thing you got to think about is how do you pay Joe Burrows and Jamar Chase? That's going to be hard. Because you still got Mix in there, you got Pirine, you got Higgins, you got Boyd. You got
a lot of players that you got to make happy. That's for sure.
Exactly. So you got there, and that's going to be the same issue that Jacksonville runs into a little because obviously Trevor Lawrence, if he continues to get better, you got Travis Etienne, you got Evan Ingram who wants to come back. You got all those Zay Jones and all those receivers. You can't keep them all. That's just on defense.
And another thing too that's going to be really good that you got a lot of teams that need a tweak here and there. I mean, you got the Chargers, you got the Raiders. I mean, you got a lot. You got a lot of teams. Really, is right there with the teams that's in the Final Four right now.
As long as Mahomes stays healthy, it's going to be hard in that AFC West to beat them.
Yeah,
because
Kansas City right now they just they just reload every year.
It don't matter who. As long as you got Mahomes, and Travis Kelce, you got a chance to win any game.
You got those two.
Yeah,
absolutely. I agree with that.
They got those Walmart receivers, and still, man. I mean, they just off the heat.
Another thing too, you have to take your heads off to Seattle. They were so competitive, and they made the playoffs. And they had lost all of their defensive players at the beginning. And they had all these rookies to come in and play, like Jamal Adams and those guys. Ain't nobody had you don't even hear Jamal Adams' name. Yeah. And he's the highest paid defensive back out over there. But my point is, teams right now. I just go to show you the skill sets and the competition is a real thin ice. It's you can reload quickly. You really can.
They had 2 rookie offensive tackles starting.
Right. Yep.
There, but they did have Metcalf and Lockett, and then they had the running back.
Yeah, Walker. They had Walker, and that just go to show you how quickly that these young players too can come in and add some impact.
Yeah, you're right. Because the game is not the same as when we played.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's not as physical. It's a more wide open game. so you can get players to come in and they can perform at a higher level because they don't have to worry about obviously the physical nature of the game.
I would love to play this damn time because you need about 8 receivers. I mean, we're gonna run in there, we're gonna spread the field out, we're gonna do some things. We don't need no fullback no more. They had back then, you had to have a fullback, you had to have 3 tight ends. I mean,
Well, you can hang out with DeAndre Hopkins and you probably could play a little bit longer.
Well, if I would took just 1 ounce of steroid, man, it must have probably be popping out my neck right now. Look at that. But you know what though, Jim? I was bench pressing 360, 370, man. I was a strong receiver. I had like on the 225, I had like 16 reps, bro.
There you go.
Better ask somebody. No, I was the best blocker. I had all the blocking assignment too, because we had every receiver could do something special. I could run downfield, run the coverage off, and I could come in and.
But you know why you were so strong?
Why?
You was that country strong out there in Texarkana.
Where them yams at? Where them
country strong?
Where them black-eyed peas at? Where them pinto beans at?
There you go.
Give me some corn, baby. Give me some corn.
That's it. Yeah, you had to catch your food. You couldn't just go to the grocery store and get it. You had to catch it.
And it's 10 in my family too. Hey, it's 10 of us, right? I had to run to the table, man. If I didn't run to the table, I'd be left out those.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I have them big brothers, and I was the oldest. And hey, you get the scraps.
Oh, yeah. You don't want the scraps, man. You don't want the scraps. It might be a roach in the scraps.
That's true. But this week's games, let's talk about a little bit about Kansas City and Cincinnati. We got Mahomes against Burrows. Burrows is 3-0 against Cincinnati.
Kansas City. It's something about Kansas City. I mean, something about the Bengals. They got the Kansas City number.
The defensive coordinator from the Bengals. And he didn't even get an interview.
Yeah. So the Bengals, man, is gonna be hard to beat. What they did last week, went up to Buffalo, they really got my respect.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, the coach prepared them. The team was focused. They weren't worried about the cold weather. They ain't worried about the wind blowing. They ain't worried about the snow coming in. They don't care which way the wind is going. They don't care if they want to toss. They came in there with all locked in, focused to play.
Mm-hmm. They did. They came in there. They were the most physical team.
Yeah.
In their running game. And they had 4 offensive linemen that were down. And they still came in there and dominated in the running game. They pushed Buffalo around. Like I said, I don't make excuses. The best team won.
And so that's a reflection of the coach had them prepared.
Yeah.
They had them prepared, and man, they didn't look back. From the kickoff.
It's interesting. Nobody gives Cincinnati's coaching staff respect. I mean, Troy Walters, the receiver coach, should be getting interviewed. I see all these guys getting interviewed, and I'm saying, where's Troy at? Troy Walters is taking Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins to another level.
Take them to another level. And the tight end as well. And so you know it got to be a coach behind that.
Yeah, he is.
They don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Oh, the names you just mentioned, them players come and they bring it every game. And I tell you, they're the most focused group tandem that you want to see in the National Football League. For receivers, quarterback. I mean, Burrow know exactly where to throw that ball, and they right there. They taking it down the field.
Yeah, and I work with Troy at the University of Colorado, and he's that good. Everything that he's doing now, he did at Colorado. He is that good.
And see, that's the little things I think the people miss in this game. If preparation is you have to have the guys ready to go.
And then the the thing on with the defensive coordinator for Cincinnati. Now they lost Cheeto Bay, Awuzie, Eli Apple been ran out of two places, the Giants, and he was run out of New Orleans.
Cleveland. Wasn't it Cleveland?
No, it was Cleveland, but New Orleans too. So it was 3 teams. No, it was Carolina, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was in Carolina too. Yeah.
So he's been run out of quite.
But you know what? Now he playing like he getting it. You know, you don't know when the player or the team or the environment. It's got to be something that then click with him that he's bringing it to.
Yeah, when the lights come on.
When the lights come on, it's all about the lights.
And I mean, they're playing hard, like we said, and they're making plays. They're not hurting themselves. They're playing really hard. And that's what defense is about. You should have all the talent on your offense. I mean, from the standpoint that you're explosive players, but on defense, if you can get some really talented players, but if they play hard, you got a chance because everybody rallies around that.
And one of the things I want to emphasize, when you get the ball inside the 20-yard line, you got to put it in the end zone.
Yes.
I mean, they I know kicking the field goal is whatever. But when you really get momentum when you put that ball in the end zone.
I agree 100%. I agree 100% on that. But I think Cincinnati's going to be tough. But something about Mahomes, and they have beat him 3 times, and Burrow's never lost to him. But I don't know.
Know what I think?
I think it's going to come down to how well Kansas City's defense plays.
Well, absolutely. Chris and Jones and those guys, they got to play a good game. And so I'm going to give the edge to Kansas City right now. I'm going to give the edge to Kansas City because it's just something trying to beat a team for a time. I just think Kansas City would be more prepared. They're at home. So I'm getting them 2 to 3 points advantage over the Bengals. And I know Burrow and his army, they gonna be pushing that ball.
Yeah. Now the only problem that Kansas City might have is if players fall asleep and Andy Reid starts drawing mustaches on their face.
Yeah, they're gonna be. Well, the good thing they ain't got to get on the plane this year to go nowhere.
Yeah.
They're at home.
Yeah.
So Andy Reid better use that markers for the board to make sure that the players are on the same page. Make sure they get those assignments down.
Yeah, but it's gonna be
I've been going back and forth with the Bengals. I've been going back and forth with the Bengals winning this game, but I just think Kelsey,
he's on his way to the Hall of Fame.
He done it. Yeah, what he have done the last. Yeah, man. This year, man. He could have been in the MVP talk.
Oh, I think he could have.
Yeah.
I think he would.
No joke.
And Kelsey, Kittle.
He means to that team, and what he took on this year. I just think 2 touchdowns a game it does for him. He'll get 3 or 4 if you need to.
Yeah. Whatever it takes to win.
And he's double covered. Most people don't realize he is double coverage. But when he turn and get away from the linebacker and create that space, he's a player.
And then, I mean, what they did with receivers that were basically castaways, Juju Smith-Schuster,
LaDainian Tony,
and they still make plays. Their running game has improved.
Oh, yeah.
The running game has improved. And I think that's going to help them. If they can run the ball on a consistent basis, they'll have a chance.
And what's good about their offense, they got unique packages. They got number 10 come in. They got the other running back come in. And so they made the adjustment with the injuries that they had early in the season, and they seem to not miss a beat. So you have to give credit to your little offensive coordinator that's and like you said, the coaches, they make the adjustments, huh?
Eric Bieniemy,
man. He's
noticing the game. When watching the game, Andy Reid is calling the offense.
Yeah.
So it's not Bieniemy who's calling the offense. Andy Reid is calling the offense. because I was watching it last. He got the sheet, and it's a big one, but he's calling.
He got the big sheet. Yeah.
But like you, I think Cincinnati. Kansas City will win this game. But it is going to be tough. It all is determined on the health of Patrick Mahomes. If he's truly healthy, he's going to be hard.
I saw him interview tonight, and he went and threw the ball today at practice, and I just think his preparation, he knows exactly what they're going to do. You get 24-hour treatment on that ankle. It's a high ankle sprain. So I just think they got these doctors now, and they got these sports specialists, and they got this special treatment. They put your leg and stuff in the boot. So it's going to definitely get blood flow, information out, and all the stuff that caused you to be, and plus he walked a little bit the next day. So that was a good sign. So it's different degrees of ankle sprain, but I definitely think that they're going to have him ready.
Did you know that when we played that they didn't have that term high ankle sprain? It was just ankle sprain.
It had an ankle sprain. And then I broke my outside fibula of my right ankle my senior year in college at Arkansas State against Maurice Carthon team. Mm-hmm. And man, they put a cast on it. And doctor said we're just gonna let it self-heal. But man, I'm telling you, that's a terrible injury.
Painful. I didn't know what it was. And it took me 3 years to fully healthy.
And Tony Pollard kind of got the same injury.
Yeah, they said he had a tightrope surgery.
Yeah.
But before we run out of time, I want to talk a little bit about the NFC game, Philadelphia against San Francisco. This will be an interesting game because, again, you have two quality defenses.
Two great defenses.
I would think, and their offenses are explosive. And like you said, you got two good tight ends, maybe another great one in Kittle, but Goddard plays well. Running backs, you got Sanders and you got McCaffrey. Receivers, you got Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk, and they got one more. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I just
got one more receiver. And then the same thing with, obviously, you got Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown.
AJ.
It's going to be interesting because I give the advantage to Philadelphia. And here's the reason why I say Philadelphia has the advantage. First of all, it's in Philly. And then San Francisco's got to fly all the way over the country. The game is at what?
Do we drink water on the plane?
Yeah. But the game is at what, 1 o'clock?
That's a 3 o'clock game on Fox. 3 o'clock at 6:30 with the AFCs.
Yeah, but that's in the East Coast.
Yeah.
So 3 o'clock on the West Coast is 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it's an early game for them.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying because it's 5:30 and 2 o'clock here.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's 12 o'clock. So now they got to get up extra early because think about it. When we got ready for games, you got to get up and it's going to be probably, honestly, about 5 or 6 when they get up and get ready to go to the stadium because 5 or 6, well, not really 5 or 6, it'll be 7 or 8, but you're still up early and they got to get used to that time zone. I give Philadelphia the advantage for.
But if you had a coach like Bill Parcells, he had us up and practicing the time that we go play the game. See, those are the tricks.
But still, think about this, Byron. Yes, but so they're practicing at 12 o'clock today, but you got to get prepared for the game before then. And how many hours did we come to? 4 hours?
Oh, yeah.
For the game. So it's a 12 o'clock game to them, regardless. So that's 4 hours. So that's 8 o'clock. When you're just going there, you got to eat. So that's probably around 7 or 7:30. See what I'm saying?
Eat them carbs up. Let's go eat them carbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So
that's difficult, and that's what throws you off. And when San Francisco lost early in the season, lost to Chicago in Chicago. and they lost to Atlanta.
They had to fly to the other side of the country.
That's my point. And
Well, you have to turn it up when you get to the playoff, though. You
do have to turn it up, but let's be realistic now. Regardless, I think the advantage is with Philadelphia in Philly.
I think home field.
It's going to be a Philly Kansas City Super Bowl.
Yeah, I do too. I agree with you. I think those are the two teams that gonna make it. I think this year will be the number one seeded team in the AFC East and the NFC East. I mean, the NFC and the AFC. Those are the number one rated teams. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they will make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then you got to think about it. The one thing that can hurt Philly is Jalen Hurts trying to run against that San Francisco defense.
And he better protect that shoulder. Because Fred Warner and Boza, I mean, they coming at you, buddy.
Yeah. And they're going to make plays now. So
they do have that Riddle guy back, the number 7 for the Eagles. He's back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and that's the thing, because you could say, and that happens in every game. If you say it takes one play to change the game, like it did with the Cowboys when Tony Pollard broke his leg.
Yeah.
So it takes one play.
That's the impactful moment right there. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
yeah.
And it was one play for the Giants when Jalen Hurts walked out there. That was the one play.
You trying to make the comedian team or something? Nobody asked you to be funny tonight. Come on, man. The Eagles had that week off.
Yeah.
And then they came out hungry as some wild buffaloes. Nick
Sirianni, though, might be the most disliked coach.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni, man, he has done a great job.
He's done a great job, but he might be the most disliked coach in the NFL.
He might be. Yeah, well.
And he did do a great job this year.
They did a great job. But you know what? He had some horses, too.
Yeah, I mean, look at what he had.
Yeah. When they got A.J. Brown, and
on defense, Hassan.
They got Bradbury and those guys on the defensive side. And
Graham.
Yeah.
I mean, and they got the guy that should be the executive of the year is is it Roseman, Harvey, or is it Harry?
Roseman. I think it's Harry Roseman, ain't it?
Yeah, Roseman, but he's done a great job of putting that, and they'll get a number 10 pick next year.
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles to win it all.
Yeah,
NFC. I'm going with the NFCs. I'm sticking with the NFCs, and I'm just thinking that the Eagles.
Well, I don't know if they can beat Kansas City.
You can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Are you serious?
I don't know.
I'm giving it to the Eagles. I'm getting. It's gonna be an NFC. It's gonna be an NFC champion team win the Super Bowl this year. So whoever go between the Eagles and the 49ers, that's who's gonna win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. I think Kansas City. I think Mahomes gonna win it.
Think Mahomes gonna win it?
Yep, I think Mahomes is gonna win it this year.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts gonna win it. He's one of the most focused guys. They say he stay in the locker room. He's always there.
But he's a coach's son, and it's all he ever knew is there. And they had some weather down by Channelview.
Oh, they had tornadoes down there. Yeah,
a couple of days.
Pasadena.
Yeah.
Galena
Park, which is close to Galena Park.
Yeah.
North Shore, which is a football powerhouse here in Dallas, and in Texas.
Yeah.
For high school football. So North Shore. So, but
how about them Cowboys? They at the house. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, they're at the house. They shoot. They like me. They sit.
I had to say that because you always calling me and texting me during the game and stuff, looking me up. I went to
Big Blue. Oh, they ain't big anymore. Big Blue.
Well,
so come on, going to the Dolphins.
Big Blue is reloading. We're gonna get a couple of key players signed. We reloading. We will win the NFC East.
Oh, because
2023.
DeAndre Hopkins is gonna have a choice between Dallas and New York. He's coming to Dallas.
We got the coach of the year on our side.
Yeah, you do.
Yes,
we
sir.
We got Dallas on our side.
Somebody called me today and said, "How is thing in Dallas?" I said, to be honest with you, I'm staying off the road. They fighting all up and down the street over here in Arlington, fighting at the stadium.
You can always go to Connecticut.
Wasn't nobody in the stadium but the Cowboys fan. They ended up fighting amongst each other.
I know, that was crazy. And it wasn't even, the game wasn't even there. That was crazy. Yeah. But you can always go to Connecticut. I know somewhere you can go in Connecticut. They'll love to have you there. Mac's house.
And I can't, Matt, cover up that number 77 jersey, Matt.
Big Blue. Hey,
Big Blue,
we both all them players is going fishing, and then Dak lost his girlfriend.
Oh yeah, she quitting. Hey, that's right there. Goes to show you good. You only good as your last play.
Yep.
Ask that.
His
girlfriend left him out of there.
He threw a pass at another girl and missed, but it got intercepted by his girlfriend.
That is bad. That's bad. Hey, he threw his pass in double coverage. And he missed. And you are out of there. You are out of there.
He was looking right at him. What you looking at?
I know. He didn't look out. He didn't look him out. He went on through the force, trying to force that ball to there.
Poor Dak. And I like Dak. I think Dak is, but I don't know if he's just like with Daniel Jones. I don't know if they're the quarterbacks that are going to get you to the next level. They're going to win games for you, but can they get you over the hump?
Yeah, it's all about having that quarterback right.
Mm-hmm. He said you're always welcome to come. See?
Okay,
How about me?
We're gonna be rocking it up next year. The G-Man's gonna be rocking it.
Y'all gonna be rocking it.
Big Blue, baby.
Rock bottom, because everybody's gonna be ready for you. Because when Dallas wins, you're gonna be so mad.
Ain't nothing gray. Say you too. Ain't nothing gray about the Cowboys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey Matt, how about them boys?
Big Blue.
Yeah, that's something. So who winning the picks over there on the other side? Y'all be picking the team.
I was terrible this week. I lost Buffalo. I lost Kansas City. I lost Dallas. I lost Philly. I lost. I was 0 for 4 this week.
Yeah.
So don't want to talk.
You taking the.
I'm taking Kansas City and I'm taking Philly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking those two teams. I'm taking the home teams.
Okay.
Taking home teams this week. I just think that I think the Bengals played their best game. I don't know if they got much left, but I know Kansas City gonna be hard to beat.
Yeah.
The Big Blue Wrecking Crew. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, but it's almost time to go, so we don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about the little blue and stuff. There's only one, silver and blue. So we all know that. And you shake your head, yeah. But we gotta go. It's time to go.
Hey, next year you got to dust that star off because the star ain't gonna be a dog in 2023.
Okay. We'll be here. We're going to still be here. We'll be talking about the all season.
Yeah. Division championship weekend, baby.
All right. Everybody have a great evening, and we'll
See ya.
talk to you soon.
All right.